We were supposed to go to Congo, and we were supposed to go to India and other places. So there I would have collected more stories. When I go to those places, you'll hear more stories. I remember when I was particularly out in the bush parish where I was in Rigo, when people were sick, they had to walk often long distances to get medical care. Now, if you know, when you're sick, you don't feel like walking 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, but they had to walk. And sometimes I would get to the clinic and there were no staff there. Or if there were no medicines because they forgot to order them, or someone in the health department hadn't ordered them. So there were many reasons why they didn't get health care. And many people died because they didn't get health care, because it just wasn't available. Same could be said with some of the schools. I used to work really hard to get the teachers up into their schools. Some of them had to walk a few hours to get to their school, often with their family and their personal belongings, and I'd have to walk. And then I would have to get the school supplies, exercise books and all the different materials for the schools. So I used to go to the government depot where all that was, and after a while all the staff there knew me, and they would just say, "Oh, Father Roger, there's all your things are down here." So I picked them up, and bit by bit I would get them up to the schools. It was always a struggle, always. One of our De La Salle brothers, who was up in the mountains as an assistant Catholic education officer, used to walk all through the schools, the area, to the schools. And he set up a radio system, and I may have spoken about this before, to be in touch with the teachers, because he said it's better to have the teacher in the school, the kids are getting taught, than to have the teacher walking hours, spending days to chase up his check or for some other purpose. So Brendan would make sure all the checks were collected and either get them up there or put them in the teacher's bank account. And at Tarpini, where the brothers were involved in the high school, they were running a canteen with many things. And what they would do there, the teacher would radio up and say, send me up some rice, some tin fish, some biscuits, this, that, something else. And what had happened, the brothers would put that teacher's check into their account, the canteen account, and they would have a running balance. And they would subtract whatever it was that he bought and any cost it might be to freight it up by plane up to that place. So the teacher was getting his supply. He was in the school and he was teaching. Now all this is, in a sense, a total injustice, an inequality. You'd imagine that sort of happening in Australia today. It wouldn't happen. The health things, the school things, it wouldn't happen because we're a highly developed economy. We've got highly developed bureaucracies. And I just want to quote from Pope Francis in something I picked up recently in the Vatican News. Coming out of the Amazonian experience and synod, he says, while some people can work from home, this is in terms of the pandemic, while some people can work from home, others cannot. While some children can continue studying, others cannot. Some countries can take financial action to deal with the emergency, while others cannot. These symptoms of inequality reveal a social illness. It is a virus that comes from a sick economy, the results of unequal economic growth which disregards fundamental human values. And there's more along that line. This in part is what we try to counter in the mission office. All those things that we fund, water, youth, schools, health, missionaries, that is all part of that inequality and inequality of economies. That is our mission, and we are all part of it, and somehow we have to work to correct it. Not happy news, but it's a great work, it's a great challenge, and if we all work together, we can do it. So thanks for being with us, and I'll continue more in the same line later.